Have you ever experienced this? You ask ChatGPT a simple question, a date, a statistic, or something about a person. The answer comes back looking completely confident, neatly written, backed by a statistic. It even includes a source link, so you trust it. You paste it into your presentation or send it to a client. And then, a week later, you find out that the study doesn't even exist. The statistic was wrong. The date was off by 2 years. At that point, you start wondering, this thing has access to so much data. So why is it lying? And why does it sound so confident while doing it? Today, I'm going to give you a simple mental model that explains exactly what's going on. Once you understand it, AI won't fool you so easily again. Let's start by clearing up the mistake that 90% of people make. Most people think AI works like Google. You type in a question and it goes off to some database, finds the correct answer and brings it back to you. Like an encyclopedia that stores facts and simply retrieves them when needed. But that's completely wrong. And that's exactly where all the confusion begins. So, what's the truth? AI doesn't find answers. AI predicts answers. Think about how your phone's keyboard works. You type, I'm going ho, and it suggests home. It didn't search for a fact. It simply looked at patterns and predicted the most likely next word. That's exactly what AI does, just on a much larger scale. It's trained on billions and trillions of words from books, articles, websites, and conversations. From all that data, it learns patterns, which words tend to follow each other, what a good answer looks like, and how explanations are usually structured. When you ask a question, it predicts the response one word at a time, choosing what it thinks is the best next word at each step. That's why people call it sophisticated autocomplete, a very intelligent version of autocomplete. Remember this one line: AI is a pattern matching engine, not an encyclopedia. Now here's the interesting part. This one idea explains both AI's biggest strengths and its biggest weaknesses. Where the patterns are deep and strong, AI is incredibly good. Think about what a professional email sounds like. There are millions of professional emails on the internet. The pattern is very strong. That's why AI can generate a solid draft in seconds. Give it a rough, messy paragraph, and it'll give you 3 polished versions. Paste a long, boring report and say, just give me a summary of the budget and deadline sections, and it'll do it almost instantly. Describe a situation and say, here are my options, help me think through them, and it'll often show you perspectives that may not have crossed your mind. And perhaps its biggest strength, it can explain complicated ideas in simple language. For example, you can ask it, explain the stock market using Pokemon card trading as an example, and it may explain it better than a textbook. AI isn't a specialist, it's a generalist. One text box for writing, rewriting, summarizing, explaining and brainstorming, all in one place. You don't need a separate tool for each task. Try it yourself. Open ChatGPT, Claude or Gemini and type this prompt, filling in your actual details inside the brackets. I have a type of event coming up and I need to specific task you've been putting off. Can you help me draft something? Here are the key details. Add 2 to 3 relevant facts about your situation. Going from a blank page to a workable draft, that's where the real value lies. Now let's look at the other side of the coin and pay close attention, because this is where most people get caught out. When the patterns are deep, the answers are strong. But what happens when the patterns are thin? A specific date, the biography of a real person, or precise data from a niche report? AI doesn't stop. It doesn't say, I don't know. Instead, the same system that's always predicting the next likely word fills in the gap with whatever seems most plausible. And it does it with complete confidence. That's what a hallucination is. When AI makes something up and presents it as a fact, there's nothing malicious about it. AI isn't trying to lie. It's simply doing what it was designed to do: predict the next plausible word. The problem is that in this case, the right pattern simply wasn't there. And here's the most dangerous part. A wrong answer looks exactly like a correct one. No warning light flashes. No disclaimer pops up saying, I'm not sure. So how do you catch AI when it's making things up? Remember these three signals. Specificity check. If AI gives you a very specific number, name, or date that you didn't already know, treat it as a soft red flag. Style check. If the response says, research shows, experts say, or studies have found, but never tells you which research, which experts, or which studies, that's often fabricated authority. Without names, those claims are usually hollow. Frogs examine. If something feels off, ask directly, are you sure about that? Where did you get it? Or rephrase the question and ask again. If you get two different answers, at least one of them is wrong, maybe both. But keep in mind, these are heuristics, not proof. They won't catch everything. The real power lies in your prompt. You can't make the model smarter, but you can influence the kind of output it gives you. Let's say you're a blogger or a freelance writer. In that case, you could use a prompt like this. I'm writing a blog post on digital marketing. Give me 5 relevant statistics or findings from credible, recently published sources that I can use. For each one, include the statistic or finding, the source organization or publication, the publication year, a link, or a clear way to verify it. Prefer primary sources, official reports, industry studies, government data, academic research, or well-known research organizations. Prioritize sources such as Google, Think with Google, Uber Suggest, HubSpot, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, Gartner, McKinsey, Statista, NASSCOM, government reports, or peer-reviewed studies when relevant. If you are uncertain about any statistic, source, or number, clearly say so instead of guessing. I'd rather have fewer verified facts than more questionable ones. This prompt does three things. First, it gives the model permission to say, I don't know. By default, AI feels pressure to be helpful, so it often fills in the gaps instead of admitting uncertainty. Second, it anchors the response to well-known sources like Uber Suggest and HubSpot, where the patterns are stronger and more reliable. And third, by asking for the source, publication year, and verification link for every claim, it makes errors much easier to spot. So, the entire idea comes down to one simple mental model. AI is a drafting partner for everything and a source of information only for the things you can verify. That means writing, rewriting, summarizing, explaining, and brainstorming. Feel free to use AI for all of it. But when it gives you a fact that you're going to use, share, or base a decision on, treat it like a first draft, not the final truth. Because AI has no ability to tell the difference between what's true and what's merely plausible. To AI, both look the same, and they'll look the same to you too, until you verify them. So here's today's action step. The next time AI gives you a fact, ask for the source, the publication year, and a way to verify it. This one habit alone will save you from most mistakes. Your judgment combined with AI's speed, that's the real superpower. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who still thinks AI is just Google with a chatbot interface. You'll find the prompts and guide in the comments below and on my website as well. See you in the next video.